morning, everyone. We are here for the continuing inspection on the effects of Karina and Butchoy to the different communities that have been flooded, have now isolated communities, etc. So let us go through the reports that will be given us by the different provinces. Umpisa natin sa sa ating province ngayon. Gov. Dan, I think meron kayong presentation. Sige, please go ahead.
Like this. Your Excellency President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr., all our distinguished guests, honorable governors, cabinet secretaries, Vice Governor Alex Castro, honorable mayors, local chief executives of the province of Bulacan, isang magandang umaga po. As Governor of the province of Bulacan and PTRMC Chairman, may I present the situation report in the province of Bulacan as of July 26, 2024. Ito po ay matapos ang walang humpay na pag-ulan at malawak na baha na dulot ng Super Typhoon Karina na lalong pinalakas ng habagat. Bunga ng Super Typhoon Karina na umatak sa habagat, nagdala ng walang humpay na pag-ulan. 17 LGUs po were severely affected. Naranasan ng bawat pamilya sa halos lahat ng bayan at lungsod sa lalawigan ng Bulacan ng hagupit ng unos na dulot ay malawakang pagbaha. At makikita rin po rito ang 8 bayan at 2 lungsod na naitalang may pinakamataas na pagbaha sa lalawigan. Sila po ang mga flood prone tuwing mayroong mga pagbagyo. Ito ay lungsod ng Maykawayan at lungsod ng Malolos. Sa bayan ito ay ang Marilao, Kalumpit, Santa Maria, Ubando, Hagonoy, Giginto at Balagtas. Ang Maykawayan at Marilao po nagtala ng may pinakamataas na level ng pagbaha na umabot sa 12 feet. 13,021 families or about 48,000 individuals were relocated in the 318 evacuation centers. Halos lahat po ng evacuation areas sa mga apektadong nabaha ng mga lungsod at bayan sa lalawigan na nagamit po dahil po sa matinding baha na naranasan ng Bulacan. Sa kasalukuyan, as of July 26, 2024, kahapon ng 5 p.m., higit kumulang na 492,932 na pamilya ang apektado sa lalawigan at 1,679,973 na individual. As to casualty, we have recorded 2 individuals as shown here. During the typhoon, rains and flooding, these individuals passed away untimely. In terms of damages, particularly on agriculture and fisheries, covering the commodities of rice, vegetables, corn, plantation crops, and both aquaculture and capture fisheries, including livestock and poultry, the losses amount to 103,775,818.85. Patuloy pong pagtaas nito as reports come in. Sa ngayon, ang top 10 cities and municipalities that occurred damages in agriculture: San Miguel, Pombong, Bulacan, Hagonoy, Bustos, Malolos, Bukawe, Angat, San Ildefonso at Maykawayan. Lastly, the infrastructure damages amounts to about 789 million as shown in the details of said damages in respective LGUs. Pasok na po ito sa guidelines sa pag-declare ng state of calamity at patuloy pa rin tumataas ang datos as reports are still coming in. May mga school buildings at iba pang mga infra na nakalubog pa sa tubig. Ito po ay paniguradong tataas pa. To summarize, the damages po incurred by the province in terms of agri amounts to about 103,777,818.85. In terms of livestock and poultry, it amounts to about 2,091,000. At ito po ay madadagdagan pa. Ito po ay partial lang po. And in terms of infra, it's about 789 million or a grand total of damages amount of about 895,668,818.85. The list of consolidated damages shows the top 10 cities and municipalities as follows: Kalumpit, Bulacan, Marilao, Pandi, San Ildefonso, Agunoy, City of Malolos, Santa Maria, San Rafael, Giginto. At dahil po sa mga datos na ito, ang inyong pong lingkod ay nagpatawag ng PDRMC Full Council Meeting or Emergency Meeting para sa maaprubahan ng pag-declare ng state of calamity sa lalawigan ng Bulacan upang masiguro na makatugon sa mga pangangailangan ng aming kalalawigan. Your Excellency, Mr. President, kami po ay lubos na nagpapasalamat sa inyong muling pagdating sa aming lalawigan. Sa inyong ikalawang pagbisita sa amin ng kalamidad, muli naming nadama ang inyong pagdamay at suporta at pagmamahal. Tulad ng aming, tulad po na naunang krisis at kalamidad, ang pinaka-apektado ay maralitan nating mga kababayan, maliliit na magsasaka at mangingisda, mga urban poor, mga karaniwang manggagawa. Batid po dito at batid po natin, may gampanin ng bawat isa. At ang lalawigan ng Bulacan ay nananais maging bahagi ng mabilisan at permanenteng solusyon sa pagbaha. Isa po itong programa ng pamahalang nasyonal na ating buong pusong sinusuportahan. At makalipas ang halos 3 taon ng masusing pagsisiyasat at pagplano, nais ko pong kunin ang pagkakataon upang ipagbigay alam na tayo ay nakatakdang mag-implement ng dredging of Bulacan offshore at lima pang mga prioridad ng ilog, katulad po ng Angat River, Pamarawan River, Malolos River, Hagunia River at Giginto River. Sa kasagsagan po ng pandemya, tumugon po tayo sa itaatas ng DNR Administrative Order number 2020-7. Ang ating pong pinagtibay ang Executive Order 7 series of 2021 sa lalawigan ng Bulacan. Dito ay bumuo tayo ng Interagency Committee na may layuning i-dredge ang priority dredging zone sa ating lalawigan. May konkretong plano po tayo sapagkat may gobyerno tayong handang dumamay sa bawat Bulakenyo at bawat Pilipino. Kung hindi nga lang po masungit na panahon, ay nakatakda na po sanang simula ng Bulacan River Restoration Program to be led by engineers, environmental experts, and geologists sa ilalim ng Interagency Committee, katubang po ang DNR at DPWH. Gusto nating maging ehemplo sa buong bansa sa pangangalaga sa ating likas na yaman, ang ating pong kabundukan, kailugan at kaligtasan at ang kaligtasan ng ating mamamayan. And we hope this is just the beginning. Ang flood control and river restoration program na ito ay magbubukas ng maraming pintuan upang tayo makapag-develop ng malaon na nating pangarap na wetland ecosystem, megadike, and floodgates, coastal defense, solar and wind power farming, and waste-to-energy facilities. Sa ngayon, ng ating pangunahing concern ay disaster preparedness, risk reduction, relief, recovery, and rehabilitation. Gayunman, ang ating lokal na pamahalaan ay nakatuon sa mga nabanggit na pangmatagalang solusyon. Mahal na Pangulo, sa lahat ng pangarap na ito ay gabay namin ng iyong mapagkalingang pamamahala at pagdamay sa bawat Bulakenyo at Pilipino. Sir, maraming salamat po.
Maraming salamat, Governor. Sige, tignan natin ngayon. Kung at least yung sa immediate needs, can we get an indication from sa Public Works kung ano yung mga, meron pa bang thoroughfares? I know that the national roads are okay, pero meron pa bang mga thoroughfares na hindi madaanan?
President, Mr. President, as of today, there are just two remaining road sections in Bataan that remain to be
Dito muna sa Bulacan.
closed. Dito sa Bulacan po, meron ding yung Baliwag, Candaba, Paliwag Candaba Road lang ang medyo meron pa akong tubig.
May tubig pa. It's not damaged. It's flooded.
Not damaged.
Sige.
Most of the roads actually, national roads, Mr. President, actually, just because of flooding, there are no damages.
Ganun din eh. Yung observation ko dun sa habang lumilipad kami, iniikot. Yung tubig walang pupuntahan eh. Wala talagang pupuntahan. Mataas yung tubig ng dagat, mataas yung tubig sa ilog, may baha pa dun sa mga farmlands. Pero kung makikita mo, naghahanap ako nung san lulusot yung tubig, wala talagang dadaanan. Eh. Kaya yun ang ating kailangan na pag-aralan na mabuti dahil we have to find out. Kaya hanggang ngayon, kahit wala nang masyadong I think that the DSWD is doing okay na pagtulong dun sa mga nangangailangan. Kaya kami tuloy-tuloy, kasi tinitignan namin paano natin gagawin ito para pagka ganyang kabigat, ang talagang umabot ang talagang naging ng baha, hindi masyado yung ulan, kundi yung bumaba na tubig. Eh. Ang laki ng bumaba na tubig, sabay-sabay, bigla. Hindi na nakayanan ng mga ating mga slope protection, ng ating mga flood control, ng ating mga dike. So we have to find another way to do it. Kaya palagay ko yung impounding talaga yung funds ang pinaka magiging solution dyan. Eh. Anyway, let's go now to DSWD just to look at the very, although it's we're 3-4 days already. Tignan natin. I saw a figure dito kung ilan pa yung mga nasa evacuation center at hindi naman nagkakaproblema na. We are able to look after them.
Mr. President, yes, we have a presentation.
Oh, sige, can you go through that quickly? Yes.
Mabilis lang naman ho yun, Mr. President. Not this one, yung isa, the one with the relief. Mr. President, while they're pulling it up, so when Mr. President, we'll start off with Bataan, Mr. President. So we are working with the province and the other local government units who also sent direct requests. So right now, we've already, on the ground, we have 62,119 family food packs in varying forms yan. They've been picked up, they're for delivery, but they're on the ground already.
Alright, I'm sorry. This is Bataan.
Yes, Mr. President.
Bulacan muna.
Okay, sige.
Oo.
Mr. President, next slide is Bulacan. Mr. President, so the same day I spoke to the governor while the event was happening. As we speak, 90,086 family food packs have already been picked up, delivered, or nasa field office waiting to be picked up.
Okay.
But Mr. President, continuous yung dating ng request as we expected because people are still in the evacuation center. For Bulacan itself, we still have a standing 109,000 family food packs na bagong requesto. These are things that continuously come in. So by the end of the, kung hindi na ho yan dadami, Mr. President, by the end of the exercise, we would have dispatched close to around 300,000 family food packs to the province of Bulacan.
Alright.
So ongoing to, Mr. President, we work with the LGUs na some for pick-up, some for delivery. The rest pwede na namin i-dispatch yan. We continuously do it, Mr. President.
Alright. Okay. So, okay naman yung sa pag-deliver ng mga may kulang pa.
Okay naman po, sir. At tumutulong po kami sa pagkuha. Yes, sir. Opo, tulong-tulong po tayo.
Okay.
Tumutulong po kami, sir.
Talaga,
Opo.
And then again, sa Department of Health, we have teams going again to the evacuation centers, making sure everybody is okay.
Opo, sa Bulacan po, meron tayong nag-activate po ating regional director,
Alright.
si Cora Flores, and we are assisting. Meron nga kaming isang bata sa Baliwag yata, namatay from severe diarrhea. So ito po yung health warning sa ating mga health center, yung safety ng potable water. Kasi preventable yun, yung 5-year-old namatay because of diarrhea. So dapat ma-check kaagad namin yung mga cases of diarrhea. Ang isa pang naisip ko, because madami pa rin ang nasa evacuation center, yung binisita natin kahapon, at I'm sure yung ni-report ni Governor, madaming mga bata ngayon, yung mga unvaccinated, sila ay yung napupunta ngayong magkakasama sa ating... So ang plano ko magpalabas ng bakuna para mabakunahan yung mga unvaccinated
good idea.
children.
Sige, para-
Kesa maunahan tayo ng measles
Bago
outbreak.
natin hahanapin ulit, nandyan na sila. So,
Andyan na sila. Tama. Yes, Mr. President.
Alright. Yes.
Again, just to re-emphasize, the 90,086 are in different forms. Meaning they're all in Bulacan. May schedule for pick-up already. Yung iba na-deliver na. Yung iba we're still waiting for them to pick it up. So that's 90,086. But lahat yan, nasa lugar na ng Bulacan, nasa field office na. But we still have a pending na 109,781 na bagong mga requests that we are still processing. But within the week, we should be able to comply with all of those. Kasi yun, galing na ho sa Pasay warehouse and some other warehouse in the region. We're pulling it out already.
Alright. Oh, now the next part of the relief effort is assistance that we are providing. I know Dole already has a program in place. The ILG also is providing assistance. Anong assessment ng Dole dito ngayon sa Bulacan?
Magandang umaga po, mahal na Pangulo, at magandang umaga din po sa lahat ng mga lingkod bayan at mga local government officials na bahagi po ng pagpupulong na ito. Sa bahagi po ng Department of Labor and Employment, mahal na Pangulo, ang atin po specifically po sa Dole Region 3, kami po ay nagtabi na po ng humigit kumulang 176 million para po sa ayuda na ipagkakaloob sa pamamagitan po ng programang tupad. Initially po, 62 million po dito ay nakaukol sa lalawigan ng Bulacan, Bataan at Pampanga. Madadagdagan pa po dahil nakalabas lang po yung ating mga field personnel nung medyo humupa ang init po, ang magandang panahon. Nagkaroon po tayo ng pagkakataon na makipag-ugnayan sa mga local government officials. Meron na po kaming naka-profile at yung pong amount na nakaukol sa initially po sa lalawigan ng Bulacan, 46 million po yung para sa tupad. Yun po sa Bataan at saka sa Pampanga, madadagdagan pa po habang dumadating po yung mga karagdagang informasyon galing po sa ating mga provincial offices po.
Alright, okay. What about wala si Sec Kiko ngayon? He is representing us in Vietnam on the funeral of yung namatay nilang pinuno. So is there a representative here from the Department of Agriculture? Because we need to have, ang pinakamalaking problema dito is yung estimate ninyo, infrastructure ang pinakamalaki.
Yes, sir.
Pero siyempre yung agri, hanap
Parating pa po, sir, kasi nag-evaluate pa po ibang bayan, sir. Kasi may mga tubig pa po iba.
Oh, talaga. Oh,
Yes,
kitang-kita
sir,
nung nilipad namin, talagang
Yes, sir.
puno pa ng tubig.
Opo,
Pati
mahanap
yung
po.
mga bahay, may dun sa ground floor, may tubig pa eh.
Mayroon pa nga po.
Kung sakali man, ibobomba natin, saan natin ilalagay yung tubig? Wala rin eh.
Sir, nag-usap po kami tatlo kasi.
Oh,
Yung pong mega dike yung pinaka-isa naming nakitang solusyon. And then the water reservoir sa taas.
tama.
Dalawa po kasi yung solusyon. Isa sa taas, isa sa baba.
Tama.
Kasi para hindi po tayo magkaroon ng hirapan. Kasi po, apektado rin po kami ng high tide, sir. High tide po.
Ganon din ang nangyari dun sa NCR eh. Perfect storm itong nangyari eh. Nagsabay ang habagat, ang bagyo, at saka yung high tide.
High tide.
So, kahit anong bombang gawin mo, high tide, ganun din, babalik din. Kaya, kailangan talaga tama, I think, papunta ngayon doon ang thinking natin eh. Kasi yun ang advice sa atin ng mga, yun yan, hydrology expert, ganun. Sabi nila, kahit na yung iba, yung natural instinct natin, taasan ninyo yung flood protection. Hindi rin eh, hindi kakayanin eh. So we have to, kailangan ma-impound natin yung tubig
Yes, sir.
bago pa bumaba.
Yes, sir.
Yun ang talagang solution diyan. Tapos may tubig pa tayo pag tagtuyot, pagka may pang irrigation, pag tag-araw, kahit na hindi maging drought. All right, sige, let's move on to the next briefing na bibigay sa atin na on Pampanga, Delta.
I have a presentation, Mr. President po. So out of 21 municipalities po, 15 LGUs po yung flooded namin. Out of 505 barangays, we have 220 na pong barangays na lubog po. Affected population po namin is 127,000 families. Individual is 400,000. Sa mga evacuees po namin, inside the total of 6,576, inside is 3,285. Yung outside po, yung 3,291, yun ho yung mga nasa tabing ilog, Mr. President, na kusa na ho namin pinaalis bago pa ho ng bagyo. Lumilipat lang ho doon sa mga families nila. Medyo malaki po sa amin yung sa agri po namin, Mr. President. It's around 378 million. Nasa early stage pa lang po kami ng tanim namin, Mr. President. Total affected hectares is 7,571. Affected farmers po is 4,494. On the relief operation naman ho, nagpapasalamat po kay Secretary. Mabilis po yung response, Mr. President. Yung 30,000 po, within a day po, na-pull out ko po kagad at napamigay po namin kagad. Boss, thank you po. So, same problem pa rin po, Mr. President. Yung last year po natin briefing natin sa Pampanga. Talagang nagkasabay ho, hindi ho natin maiwasan. Pero as of now, okay pa naman po yung mga tao pa rin. Importante na bibigyan lang ho natin ng ayuda kasi lalo na po yung mga nasa coastal barangays, hindi ho makalabas para makapangisda. Kaya yun po ang priority namin na mabigyan po ng ayuda. So on the part of the provincial government, nakapag-release na ho kami ng 20,000, 30,000 po sa coming from Secretary Rex po.
Okay. All right. So yun ang status dun sa in terms of the relief effort. I think we're okay. We're up to date in terms of.
Sa Pampanga, again, thank you kay Gov. We were talking also the same day that it was happening. So, Gov, what we've released, may iba pa kasi ho na LGUs na dumiretso. We've already released 107,000, of which yung iba sa province, but iba sa mga
Request by
LGUs, yeah.
By the mayors
yeah,
po yan.
by the mayors, yes. But the coordination is excellent with Gov. And then, Gov, we still have 42,000 na new requests that we're fielding, which should be done in a couple of days or siguro in 2 days, Mr. President. But Mr. President, I just want to thank si Gov kasi yung warehouse niya, pinahiram na rin niya and he's helping us with the logistics side of it. Kasi hindi na kinaya ng warehouse namin.
Kasi kung Manila pa ho lahat na repacking, Mr. President, medyo hirap po. So, yung warehouse sa Pampanga, pinahiram ko na ho, then tao magpapahiram na rin po.
Kailangan ganyan dahil kaya kami makapag-respond na mabilis dahil inuunahan talaga namin bago pa nandiyan, nagpapadala na kami ng lahat ng relief goods, pati may equipment na pwedeng unahin. That's why mabilis ang pagka bumaba na yung tubig, mapuntahan na yung mga communities na napupuntahan nila kaagad. So okay, in terms of the relief effort, I think we are okay.
Infra naman ho, no damages po sa amin. Yung tulaok natin na dati nagsaray sa NLEX, good thing po na na-dishield po ng DPWH kung wala hong flood ngayon doon sa NLEX na yun.
Bukas na.
Bukas po yun.
Bukas na.
Hindi ho kami nagsara. What happened last year? Wala po.
Hindi kagaya last
Hindi na ho
year.
binaha. Hindi na po.
Okay. Okay.
Na-dishield po nila yung upstream po, kaya ngayon hindi na ho nag-cost naman.
Alright.
Hindi rin yung nakadaan ng Valenzuela.
Alright. Ito problema na yung I think for all of the ano is the agricultural damage. Yun ang pinaka ano yung
Main problem
yung
po.
infra pero yung season nga kakatanim lang ninyo.
Sa amin po, katatanin lang, katatapos lang mo ng problem natin sa El Nino. Ito na. Ito po, kaka-start po.
Alright, so ang gagawin natin for the agri, mahabol pa naman siguro yung season, ano? When did you start planting? Kailan kayo nagsimula? No,
Halos kaka-start lang.
ang planting season yun.
Opo.
Pwede pang habulin yan.
Pwede.
Sige. So mag-provide ang DA ng kapalit na ano binhi and assistance para ayusin yung mga irrigation canal, etc. At
Yung mga ibang damages, sir, yung binigay nyo last time sa amin na check, baka itong mga tinamaan na
pwede
to.
pang magamit.
Hindi, gamitin ko doon sa may mga natamaan na farmers.
Oo, yun. Alright.
Abutin ko po
Oo.
doon.
Pero in the
Para
meantime,
mabigyan natin ng tulong po kagad.
ganun din dito sa Bulacan eh. Yung agri ang pinaka-critical. Yung infra, basta't makita natin kung ilista natin, nag-a-assess ang mga public works, both sa local at saka sa national, para matignan natin. Yung infra, yung agri, hanggat bumaba talaga yung tubig, hindi natin malalaman kung ano ba talagang naging damage. Although hindi natin kailangan antayin na mawala yung tubig. Pwede na nating simulan. So, ang instruction ko sa DA will be to try to para habulin yung season, yung planting season. Dahil para hindi naman mawalan ng hanap buhay yung ating mga farmer. The infra, para basta sa infra, tignan na lang natin, we'll have to make the assessment. Medyo ibig sabihin, dahil tumagal na, it's been 3 days, almost 4 days, na pwede na mag-assess both in the agri side, the infra side, at saka lahat ng mga ibang pangangailangan pa. We are moving away from the relief phase from the rescue phase, from the relief phase to the rehabilitation phase. Kaya ito yung mga kailangan natin makita. What are in the agri sector, kung ano yung mga naging damage, ano yung magagawa natin para like itong sa livestock. Yan, pwede pa yan. Mahahabol pa natin yan. Fisheries,
Fisheries more on yung mga fish pan po na
nasira.
na-open po dahil sa ano, yung mga dike nila po.
Nasira. Dahil masyadong talagang mataas yung tubig. High value crops. Yung rice talaga.
I-restore naman po ng mga fish pan.
Hindi, maayos yan. Pero siyempre yung fingerlings, yung fry, bibigyan ulit natin para magsimula ulit. Kung nabuksan, wala nang laman yung mga fish pen. Yeah, this is I think going to be the main. Now this is going to be the main concern kasi puro agri ang yung area ninyo. Agri talaga ang pinaka critical na magiging problema.
Sabay po kami nagpatanim halos. Katatanim na po.
Alright, okay. Ito pa, hindi pa ito final. May lalabas pa, lalaki pa yan. But I think we have the majority na-assess na natin yung majority ng mga nasira na kailangan bigyan kaagad ng tulong. We'll have to get an we'll have to get a determination from the DA as to what areas will go first. Yung unahin na. Pwede na natin padala ng tulong, padala na ng equipment, padala na ng binhi, pwede ng fingerlings, mga pati inahin, whatever, sa livestock. So, we will work on that. Yun ang priority ngayon. Maayos na yung relief okay na yan. So, we'll move on now to the recovery at saka rehabilitation ng agri-products, agri-sector. Infrastructure, ganun din. Pero hindi natin magagawa na immediate yan. although this one, agri and livestock, kailangan immediately meron tayong maibigay kagad. All right. Oo, sige. So that's for Pampanga. Meron pa? Okay ka na? Okay. Okay. Now from Bataan, which has more than one problem. Sige, we'll tignan muna natin yung effects of the effects of Butchoy and Carina. Tapos saka natin puntahan yung oil spill. All right, please.
Good morning po, Mr.
Yes, go
President, all our secretaries, fellow local officials. Nandito po kami ni Mayor Nelson David and Vice Mayor Richie David of Limay to give you a briefer with regards to the effect of Carina sa probinsya po ng Bataan. As you well know, Bataan is a peninsula. So talaga pong marami pong mga water systems, river systems within the province coming from the uplands going down. And most of our communities are coastal. So marami ho talaga kami mga fisher folks nasa low-lying areas. Kaya very susceptible po kami sa flash floods due to monsoon. Tama po kayo, Mr. President, pag bagyo, hindi ho kami gaanong binabaha. Pero dahil sa monsoon, yun po talaga yung nagdadala ng tubig dito ho sa aming probinsya. And the past from July 22 until July 25, umabot po sa 17, no, yung red and orange rainfall warning in our province. Kaya naman po umabot din sa 674 millimeters of rain from that period alone. We had more than 2,000 families in our 74 evacuation centers, and yung total number of families affected almost 200,000 din po because 11 out of 12 municipalities were flooded and 118 out of 237 barangays were flooded as well. Kaya po noong Wednesday, we had to declare a state of calamity as recommended by the PDRRMC and then approved by our sangguniang panlalawigan. Pagdating po sa agricultural damage, same with Pampanga and Bulacan, kakasimula pa lang naman po ng ating mga magsasaka. Kaya umabot po sa 95 million. Next slide please. 95 million yung damage distributed sa various types of crops. So yan po yung sa rice, corn, cassava, fisheries, and high-value crops. We had mga ongoing and completed projects pagdating po sa dikes and then diversion canal over the past few years, even including dredging. Pero ang nakikita po namin, same observation, ay kung may paraan, we've submitted a request for study sa DPWH para ho sa impounding dams dahil nga hindi ho kakayanin talaga yung volume of water pababa sa ating mga river systems. And combination of the impounding dams, kung magagawan nga po ng paraan yung coastal defense, I think it will help the provinces of Bataan, Bulacan, and Pampanga. That's all, Mr. President.
Oh, it always has to be that way. Because like paulit-ulit kong sinasabi, yung baha, hindi nangingilala ng boundary yan. So, kung saan pupunta yung tubig, doon pupunta yung tubig. So, it has to be a plan that will cover a area. And the only real solution, because sa several areas, nag-urbanize talaga. So, lumiliit yung dinadaanan yung tapos natatabunan pa yung ibang maliliit na creek, yung mga maliliit na dahil tinatayo na ng building. So, kahit taasan natin ang taasan yung slope protect yung dike at saka flood protection, aabutin pa rin yan. Kaya kailangan mahuli yung tubig, ma-impound yung tubig bago pa makababa. Yun ang that's the only long-term solution that we have been able to come up with. And I think it's just a similar situation dun sa mga ibang bansa. Nag-aaral din tayo kung ano yung mga ginagawa sa ibang bansa. Ganun ang ginagawa. Yung impounding nasa taas bago pa pumunta sa agricultural area, sa urbanized areas. Dapat yun talagang gagawin. But that will require a big big plan. Kailangan talagang pag-isipan, kailangan pag-aralan ng mabuti. Dahil yung mga ibang study na ginawa natin over the last few years, yung iba dun hindi na applicable dahil iba na yung climate. Iba na talaga yung, iba na yung panahon. All right. So okay, for let's on the effects first of the typhoons. What I think that we are all right in terms of the relief. Wala nang rescue. Nag-rescue pa ba tayo? Hindi na. Wala. Also, in terms of the relief, and then we are now starting to move into the rehabilitation phase. So, well, tuloy-tuloy pa rin naman yan. We have enough in hand in terms of relief goods, no matter how long kasi hindi naman dahil na wala yung tubig makauwi na kagad yung tao. Kahit na umuwi sila, wala pa sira-sira yung mga, hindi sila makaluto. So kailangan pa rin bigyan ng tulong. So we will continue with that. Yeah.
That's why may mga current request na bago na.
Yan na nga. Yun na yun, yung nakauwi na, pero nasira yung lutuan.
So we'll keep on
tinangay lahat ng pagkain nila. So we still have to continue to monitor them and to give them what assistance it is they need.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we'll keep on working with the provinces and we'll keep on working with the LGUs as well.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you'd like to add on because you're the next on the update?
Mr. President, yan na yung slide. So just briefly, sa Bataan, we've already deployed 62,119, but we have another 96,000 that we're processing as we speak, Mr. President.
All right. Okay. So sa infrastructure, Sekmani, okay na yan. We have our teams out, nag-a-assess na. At saka yung mga here we are again. So, Sarel, hihingin ko na naman yung mga isolated communities. Meron pa ba tayong isolated communities na kailangan bantayan? Where's the CDO? CDO. Yes. Ayan dyan. Okay. Are there still isolated communities that we have to attend to na hindi pa napuntahan?
As of yesterday, sir,
For the
yung sa Tanay Rizal only, sir, we already have supported the
Oh, yeah, we were able to
isolated
arrange that.
barangays yesterday.
Oo, nakuha ng yan, mabuti
Yes, sir.
yan.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
So
so yun na lang.
Yes, sir.
Wala na tayong ganun.
We have not received any report
Okay.
regarding the
Alright, so
isolated
we have
areas.
no isolated communities that we have to worry about. There was that one San Isidro that Santa Ines that we had to attend to, pero mukhang naayos na natin. So, okay. All right, so in terms of the relief and rescue, I think we are all right. Now we are talking about rehabilitation. The biggest, I think, agreed naman the three governors agree that ang agree muna ayusin natin. Yung infra, we will look at that also. And then yung mga assistance natin, the DOH is still, yung mga teams natin, sabay-sabay lagi may kasamang DOH yan, di ba?
You ordered po, meron tayong mga health workers sa lahat ng evacuation center.
Yeah.
At we'll augment the local. Ano naman yung ating mga governor mga priority nila ang health. So may mga tao talaga doon sa mga evacuation center. So we augment them. Ang idadagdag namin na na-realize ko ngayon, dahil mga magsasaka to, mga mangingisda, mukhang kailangan namin psychological first aid. Kasi kung nawasak ang iyong pananim, I think we need to support all of this. Kaya nangihingi ng ayuda pa yan. Sometimes it's the stress of the effects sa kanilang kabuhayan. So, magpapadala tayo ng mga psychological first aid sa...
That's very understandable. Siyempre, inaalala nila ano yung gagawin nila ngayon dahil nasira nga yung tanim nila. But okay, so DOH and then DOLE, of course, for the other, for the businesses and the workers that have been displaced because of the storm, naka-ready naman yung ating tupad. Yeah.
Yes, Mr. President. In the meantime po, yung ibang mga tupad beneficiaries na pwedeng tumulong po sa repacking, pinapatulong po namin kasi di pa ho sila pwedeng makapag-clean o maglinis ng debris. So para meron ho silang gagawin, kagaya po meron po na kaming partnership ng DSWD para nang sa ganun mapabilis po yung pagre-repack nila ng kailangan ng mga kababayan natin at ma-distribute po sa mga nangangailangan ng LGUs po.
Okay. All right. Okay. So on that for that we are okay. Now we have to go back to to the agricultural na i-restore natin. So, madali. Yan ang susunod na gagawin ko. Oo, oo. Oo, para ihabol yung season eh. Yun ang, yung hirap naman dahil nagkabago ng ani. Okay, so for the 3 provinces, that's essentially pareho yung ano natin. So in the short term, I think we're all right. But in the immediately after the relief, we will prioritize the agri sector na kagaya ng sabi ninyo, nagsisimula pa lang magtanim, kaya mahahabol pa natin ang season, ang planting ang season. So okay, now
Mr. President.
Yes.
Meron rin po kaming request with the SWD and hopefully DOLE para po dun sa mga vulnerable sector na hindi po nakapaghanap buhay the past several days since Monday, especially our fisher folks, our tricycle drivers na hindi po nakalabas. Kaya we were requesting Secretary Rex kung meron po AICs that we can provide them as well.
Yeah, Mr. President, we'll collate all the requests kasi we were quite busy with the family food packs I told Sigov. Once we get all of those, we'll evaluate them and figure out how to move forward. Whether we use AICs or yung emergency cash transfer that we use. Last habagat kasi, Mr. President, yung Falcon, Egay, Habagat na combo, the 3 provinces we use the emergency cash transfer. So we'll see, Mr. President, if we'll tap the AICs or the emergency cash transfer.
Okay, all right. Because we are on that stage already that many people need cash. Because yung mga binibigay nating relief, hindi naman lahat yun yung pangangailangan nila, hindi naman lahat nandun. They have to go out and buy other things, to start to recover. So we have to give the cash assistance. All
Mr.
right.
President, 3 po kami doon.
Oh,
po kami
Last time, 3 naman din talaga sila.
sige.
Kinakalapit po kasi ako ng Bulacan.
Hindi, dapat. Kasi yun na nga, talagang halos pareho yung situation ninyo. So, okay. All right. So, that is the...
Papasalamat muna po kami dun sa nakaraan na binigay niyo pong ACT na binigay po
nga.
natin dito.
Pero-
Malaki po. Thank you, ha. Thank you, sir. Maraming salamat po.
Bago pa nga nag-thank you, eto na naman.
Oo nga po, sir.
Ang bira.
Kaya na naman tayo.
Ang bira itong nangyayari sa atin. Hindi... Ang hirap makarecover. Kaka-recover lang, eto na naman. Okay. All right. So, anyway, in terms of the assistances that we have to give, lahat medyo nakakasanayan. We have it ready to go. We will just continue to receive the assessments from the local government and then sa aming mga assessment teams around not only your provinces pero lahat ng tinamaan na probinsya, so that we can begin the rehabilitation phase. The most urgent of which is the agri sector. Kailangan makabawi tayo kagad para meron naman gagawin yung may hanap buhay yung ating mga farmer. Okay, so that is the situation with the 3 provinces in terms of the effects of Butsoy, Carina, the Habagat, etc. Plus all the other situations. I think we have those in hand. We know what to do. Continue. Huwag nyo nang kalabitin si Gobdelta. Puntahan nyo kami. You can go there.
Kakalabitan kami, sir.
Unless one more.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Kami, basta, kung ano man, just keep telling us what I always say this, kayong nasa LGU, kayong nakakalam eh. Kaya sabihan nyo kami kung ano yung situation, ano yung kulang, saan yung pinaka-uunahin, ano yung priority ninyo sa palagay ninyo o dapat unahin. We will take guidance from-
Sir, yung pong sa dam sa taas,
Oo.
ginagawa na po yung Bayabas Dam.
Bayabas, oo.
And then, bumiling po tayo kay Admin Gillian
Oo.
ng NIA na agdagdagan.
Okay.
So, sabihin ko rin po sa inyo. So, yun
malaking
po.
bagay yun.
Opo.
Makakatulong yan.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, now let's move on to Bataan's problem, which is the oil spill. So can we get an update from Sec Tony on what's the situation there? Andito rin si Admiral about for the Coast Guard. I've read all of the reports. Mukha naman as it's a good thing na mayroon tumutulong kagad na yung mga specialists dito sa, and then we have the salvors already in the area, no? Okay, anyway, Mantoni, please. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good morning. This is just the updates on the Terra Nova situation po sa Bataan. So possibly, sir, just to broaden the problem at this point or the challenge, hindi lang po ang Bataan ang maapekto ng Terra Nova. So if you could have the first slide, please. Mr. President, following your directive, which we received at around 10 a.m. on the 25th, we immediately mobilized the Presbytero, who happened to be in the area. Presbytero is the Maria hydrographer vessel in order to locate exactly the coordinates and the orientation of the vessel. We also coordinated with Governor Garcia and then also Mayor and Vice Mayor David, and then we met in Bataan, in Limay, at around just past midday of the 25th to assess the situation and to identify the best course of action. So the part of DNR, Mr. President, we have two areas where we are particularly concerned with. The first one is the water quality and the air quality. So what we did immediately was we mapped all of our assets and looked at the baseline data for the existing stations that are there. And so far from our readings, everything was still according to standard. There were no exceedances. So maayos pa po in terms of the baseline data. We continue to do this daily, Mr. President, in order to update the quality of the water and the air. So ito po yung marine water and coastline monitoring stations, the positions of our equipment and instruments. Next slide, please. We also established other locations for our stations, also specifically in Limay and Mariveles, just to actually be ready to see whether there were any changes in the water. So far, Mr. President, as of that time, we were still within standards. I would like to say, Mr. President, that we are not the incident commander po here, no? It would be the Philippine Coast Guard.
Yes.
So the DNR basically is the nearshore and offshore monitoring and mitigation mandated agency as we begin to expect the impacts of the oil spill. Just for reference, Mr. President, the Terra Nova is only in 30 to 35 meters of water. When compared to our other sunken and oil spill situations, in Mindoro, we were at 389 meters. And for the Guimaras oil spill, we were at 600. So the potential for the damage to actually be spread, given the shallow waters that will be traversed and where the vessel is located, is larger in terms of the potential. Also, the cargo hold is reportedly about 1.4 million liters, higher po than the Mindoro oil spill volumes. No? So we're looking very much at what we can do in order to mitigate immediately. Next slide, please. So for the continuous air monitoring, this is just to indicate that so far there has been no change and we are within standards here for air quality with reference to Lamao, in Limay, Bataan. Next slide, please. This is a diagram that is indicating the spread according to the number of kilometers outward, Mr. President. And what we've done here is we have mapped all of our environmentally critical areas. What you see there in terms of the small dots and the different violet and different graphics are the sites of marine turtles nesting stations. They're also the sites of our wildlife bird sightings, as well as, of course, the marine protected areas that are in these areas. And therefore, we are on the lookout now for the possible contamination that could happen in the wetlands and the coastline areas, not just of Bataan, but also looking at Bulacan, and also looking at Pampanga, possibly Cavite because of Corregidor, Mr. President. And Corregidor, I will have an update on that as we proceed with this presentation. Next slide, please. Mr. President, this is the latest satellite image that we have, although I just received now also images from US NOAA. This is Philippine Space Agency with the Canadian radar satellite. What we're concerned about, Mr. President, is it was initially part of the information that the leak was rather small and contained. But as we see from this image, it has spread quite quickly towards the Bulacan area.
Yeah.
And as you can see in this oil spill model run from the UP Marine Science Institute, there's a very high possibility the black dots po are highly possible and the red dots are less possible, that the coastlines of Bulacan will be the ones that will be affected if the weather conditions continue. The winds are shifting now po. We just got word that there are sightings of the flow towards Corregidor.
The first assessment was that it would make landfall about 60 kilometers north of Metro Manila.
Yes.
Is that still our estimate?
Mr. President,
What does the modeling tell us?
Bulacan would be the main site, Mr. President.
Siniswerte ka talaga.
At this point, if the weather persists, because we are dependent on wind and currents, we're also dependent, Mr. President, on the capping of the leaks and the intervention at the vessel site. If they will be siphoning, if they will be capping the leaks in time, then we would then have a change in the way the model would look.
Sure.
Also, weather-wise, if you see on the bottom, there's a little bit of gray po in the model site, model run of UPMSI. We are now getting reports that there is slick moving towards Corregidor. So that would also be an area that would possibly be affected. So Cavite po would be an area of possible impact. So sir, what we've done is we've cast a wide net. We are doing anticipatory action to actually monitor changes in 3 regions, Region 3, NCR, and 4A. Just to anticipate the possible change in the trajectory or any other action that may actually influence the way the oil is flowing. We have received requests, Mr. President, but actually offers of help from the United Nations, from the US in terms of NOAA, but and EPA, and we will possibly call in US EPA to help us with the mitigation, assuming that the scale actually will grow. And of course, UP Marine Science Institute continues to do the daily run. So what happens, Mr. President, is we get the image and then they input that into the model and they come up with a run. So on the part of our coordination, sir, with NDRMC OCD, SND has given directives for OCD to also work with us in terms of the possible impact on the human population. Our concern as related to Governor Garcia po also would be if there are fishers in the area and there are oyster farms po in the area near the coastline, those would be possibly impacted and therefore the loss of livelihood, at least for a certain period, is quite likely. So this is where we are, Mr. President. We just received new images from NOAA. They have still to be processed. Yung seafoods natin po.
Marami dun sa area na yan.
Coastal area. So, these are just model runs po. What we will try to do is continuously update. Ang sinasabi lang po namin ngayon is if the different municipalities can already put down spill booms. And we have ways to also train kung sino man ang gusto mag-train to build the spill booms. Kasi we know these are limited in quantity, no? Ginagamit po yan ng mga oil and gas companies in order to contain their work. Sa Mindoro po, we were able to bring in a trainer na gamit po niya ang coconut husks, no? To build spill booms that are organic na pwede nang paglagyan in advance para hindi na po dumapo dito sa coastal areas. So, ayun po sana ang...
Yeah, we were able to develop some of these indigenous materials that we were used for in the Mindoro spill.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
so,
And
yeah,
the
I'm sure
municipalities can also begin already.
Unahan na natin, because that time, we were able to deploy them about a day or two after pa.
Yes, po.
So unahan na natin because we have to build them, no?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, sir. Those that are commercially available are limited in quantity.
And they're too expensive.
Yes, yes, sir. And so we trained the municipalities, especially those that were not affected by the oil spill, to actually help build the organic spill booms for those that will be impacted. No?
Well, I saw a couple of when we were flying over the spill, a couple of them already that they're starting to collect. But ang na-notice ko is that the oil, kasi nakikita mo yung sa tubig, meron na talagang langis. Pero it's light, it's still light. So Admiral, can we hear from Admiral Hill as to the status really of the find yourself a microphone. Halika, dito ka para ayan. Admiral, ayan. Okay, good. Okay. So far, first of all, unang-una, buo pa ba yung barko?
Yes, sir. Wala pang signs na nag-break.
Yung na-assess nila that there are no cracks in the hull.
From the surface, the observation yesterday, actually, the flow of oil has decreased already.
Has decreased.
Yes, sir.
Which is indicative that the oil that we are seeing is actually the fuel of the ship. Hindi ito yung cargo, hindi ito yung dala niyang dalang oil.
Yes, sir. That was
so hindi pa nag-leak yung nasa hold niya.
Yes, sir. That was the consensus yesterday in the assessment.
Okay. Well, that's a blessing.
And another blessing
What is the attitude of the ship in the?
It's only 30.
It is capsized.
That will be determined today, sir. The diving operations yesterday was aborted because the current was still strong. But today the current is only 1 knot. The diving will commence.
All right,
today.
but do we have any information as to what is the attitude of the ship on the seabed?
None yet, sir.
It's not kung nakabaliktad because we have to access the valves.
Yes, sir.
Para mabomba natin yung
yes, sir. None yet, sir, but if you recall, during the day it capsized, the Coast Guard was early enough on scene, and we were able to advise the crew of the ship to plug all the vents before it sank. So I think it helped while the flow of oil is relatively slow. They were able to close the vents.
So they were?
Yes, sir. The crew of that ship, before the abandoned ship, was able to close the vents of the...
Why did it capsize? High seas lang talaga?
Hinihila yun, sir, eh. Hinihila. I think nagka-engine derangement kasi hinihila yun. Then naputol yung cable na panghila. Because of the very strong...
So it was dead in the water?
Yes, sir. It was dead on the water. Kaya siya nalunod.
Sir President.
Wala nang steerage pala yung barko. Had no more steerage. It was dead in the water.
Yes, sir.
Mr. President,
It left the port with power, but I think it broke somewhere. Masama ang panahon at the time, sir. But, yes, sir.
It was the weather.
Yes, sir.
You were experiencing what, up to 2.5, 3 meters?
Yes, sir. Even more. But we were doing heavy weather search and rescue operations at the time. If you recall, Mr. President, we were from Bao de Masinloc.
Yeah, we recalled most of our vessels because of the
yes,
the
Mr. President.
Yeah, Mr. President. Yeah, if I may, Mr. President.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Yesterday, we had a meeting with the Coast Guard on the ground. Sila Lieutenant Commander Ventura, together with the shipping company and their assigned salvage master. Sila po yung mag-ooperate dun ho sa area, hopefully to get the vessel and also siphon the oil. Pero dun ho sa initial report, and again, we wish na ma-verify po ito. Sa pinag-usapan ho namin kagabi, meron pong visible leak from the valves. of the ship underwater.
Yeah.
And yun po yung, we assume, yun po yung nakikita na oil spill na umakit na po dito sa area where it sank and then papunta rin ho towards the coastal area of Bulacan. In fact, Mr. President, nag-set up po kami ng incident management team last night para ho this morning sa gagawin po nilang operation to plug the valve and then do containment efforts ay magkaroon po tayo ng continuous information on the progress and milestones kung lahat po nung leak, nung valves ay na-plug na po. So yun po yung nakuha ho naming info last night. And nandun naman po ang si Lieutenant Commander Ventura ng PCG.
Okay, kaya naman yung na nakikita na nabawasan yung
ongoing po, Mr. President,
yes.
yung pag-plug nung leak today.
That's right. So at least we are beginning to see the effects of that.
Hopefully.
Mr.
Okay.
President,
And if I may,
yeah, just to augment what Governor Garcia said, by narration of the Salvor, they had been called in to tug the vessel. The vessel had taken on so much water, they cut the cable because it would have caused another disaster. At which point, around noontime, the bow was still visible, but shortly thereafter, the vessel had sunk. So at the site po ngayon, also the BRP Presbytero is still on standby if it would be needed in order to actually image the vessel to determine the full picture as far as the orientation is concerned. But I echo Governor Garcia's account. This was shown to us yesterday by the Salvor provider.
Okay. All right. Admiral, what is anong actions natin ngayon and what is the plan for the recovery of the 1.4 tons?
yes, sir. The Salvor will do the underwater assessment today, and they will be presenting this afternoon the actual plan. But yesterday they informed us that their intention, the contracted Salvor, is they will siphon the oil and transfer it to another tanker. The weather is good now, Mr. President, so they can do it. And then when the ship is lightened, it will be refloated and it will be towed to closer to the shore for the succeeding operations to be done.
Okay.
But in the meantime, Mr. President, we have cordoned off the area with oil spill booms. The spraying of dispersants have been ongoing.
Yeah, I saw the
Yes,
ships who were doing that.
The objective is still very clear as ordered by the President. We will prevent oil spill from hitting land.
But we've already seen some of the oil land in Bulacan.
We're awaiting confirmation. As of a few minutes ago, it was not yet visible in terms of landing in the Bulacan area.
Na-report ka ba na meron?
So,
Yes, sir. Sir, ma'am, meron na po kaming report dun po sa Pamarawan. Yeah. Meron na silang nakikita na.
Amoy na yung...
Yes, sir. Meron silang nakikita eh. Kanina lang, nireport ng ating kapitan doon, ng brigade captain doon, na meron na silang nakikita na oil doon. Kaya nga po, sir, kagabi, nag-meeting po kami ng Coast Guard. Sinabi nila, sabi ko, just to avoid the spread, we need to maglagay na talaga ng boom. Ano po? Kasi kakalat po yan eh.
I think we need to, parang sariling sikap po tayo. Mahal po yung commercial spill
Oo nga.
although
Yeah.
and limited in supply.
Yeah.
So pwede po kaming tumulong para mag-train po ng kung gusto man mag-volunteer.
Yeah. Regarding the
Para gumawa
organic
po
boom.
Opo.
Immediate po sana mang training
Opo.
na kagad kasi no
Yes, sir.
choice na po kami. Hindi naman ho para maghintay kami nito.
Opo.
I-anticipate na ho natin tong sitwasyon na to. Especially ang dami ho na hundreds of, thousands of hectares po yung fish ponds namin.
Opo, sir. So we will provide the training po.
Are we already starting to put together those booms, the indigenous?
Sir, not as of the moment, but we need to
let's get
the
started
local-
with that.
Yes,
Alam na
sir.
natin gawin eh.
Yes, sir. So there have been already offers to help the LGUs. We will just bring the people in po. Kung pwede po, kumolekta na po tayo ng mga organic materials na pwede pong gamitin.
Like what? Para malaman, para alam na
Dayami po, coconut husk.
Coconut husk yung ginamit namin dun sa
Meron
Mindoro,
po
very
kaming
effective.
source ng
At
decorticator
saka
na
indigenous, marami
pwedeng
tayo
i-shred
ganun.
po yun para gawin po
Oo.
ng spill boom. Yung ginawa po rin namin sa Mindoro.
So kailangan natin ipakita doon sa mga siyempre magpapatulong tayo sa mga local at mga kung sino pa yung mga NGO. Yun ang mga they were the ones very active in the Mindoro
Yes, sir.
spill. So simulan na natin because kahit anong mangyari, mangangailangan talaga tayo ng mga booms. The commercial booms, kung ano meron tayo makuha, kunin natin, mag-offer naman yung mga iba, pero it's not going to be enough. So let's already be prepared already for the time that we will have to deploy them. Actually, we should be deploying them already.
Yes po. So,
Sana at continuous sana natin communication between the national agency, the three private. Kasi hindi ho natin pwedeng palampasin talaga.
yes po, Gob. Sir,
Opo, magbuo na ho ng team na
Opo.
all agencies na pwedeng tumulong para sa amin.
Yes, Governor.
And within our obligado rin ho kami maglabas ng sarili namin funds nito to help po talaga.
Yes, Gob. So far po, diretso lang po kami kay Governor
tama.
Garcia kasi Bataan lang po ang nauna. Pero ngayon po, that we
Task
have
force
the
na tayo.
simulation.
Kagabi po kasi nung nag-meeting po kami ng mga Coast Guard, may iniwan po silang 2 tao nila to train yung our disaster regarding doon sa paglalagay ng mga boom and other organic boom. Yes, sir. Nag-iwan po sila ng 2 tao. Sa amin po ng disaster namin natutulog ngayon. So yun po ang request namin kasi wala po tayong training ng mga ganyan sa mga disaster. Yun po yun dapat meron din tayo sa lahat.
Siguro yung mga release ng tupad, yun ang gagawin nila. Yung cash for work, yun ang work.
Sure,
Gumawa na
focus
sila ng boom. So, pero tuturuan pa natin. It's not, hindi mahirap eh. Madali lang. Basta binubuti, natali lang na ganyan. Tapos,
So material
apparently very
coconut,
effective. Yung
coconut husk.
coconut
Sir,
husk.
sir, isang concern lang po. Concern din namin tatlo ito eh. Actually, nagpapablagay po ba kami sa mga palaisdaan ng mga binhi ngayon, ng mga tutuloy ba namin? Like yung mga prawns, yung mga
Or early harvest na ho ba?
o i-harvest na po ba? Paano ba, ma'am?
Sir, so far, ang water quality po natin ay maayos pa except we don't have this update po na kagagaling lang po sa kay Kap sa inyo po. So, ang gagawin po namin, i-assess po namin. But I think BIFAR, sir, and we have asked that they be part of this from the very beginning. BIFAR has to be brought in kasi hindi po namin expertise yung sa fisheries at aquatic. So, kailangan po ang BIFAR pumasok na po
All
sila.
right, we need to get that organized.
President?
No, natural. Always. It will have to be that way. We have to get that organized between siguro you can take the lead or we can take the lead in that. Yes. To bring all of the other agencies in. Yes. And then anticipate already. First, we have to construct those booms that are made out of indigenous materials para may deploy na natin. Kahit wala pa tayong nakikita, i-deploy na rin natin. Dahil it can stay there. It doesn't absorb the water, it absorbs talagang oil. Kaya kahit maiwan na matagal doon, wala pang oil, okay lang. Pagdating ng oil, kaya pa rin mahigop yun, ma-absorb niya. This was local technology to sa Mindoro eh. Kasi mahal-mahal nga ng mga commercial at saka kulang, hindi ganun karami. So, yung isang NGO merong ino-offer, yun na nga, yung mga local materials lang ang ginamit. At we can ask the help of the local communities. Yun na yung ating tupad. Pwede natin gamitin doon sa ano. But Rex, we have to anticipate, of course, the effects
Yun
of
na
the-
ho, Mr. President. Usap
the
ko yung sec.
AX.
Mr. President, we'll have to do the same sa Mindoro na nagre-relay kami with the local government. Narinig ko yung sinabi nyo na kailangan din maglabas. Ang nangyari sa Mindoro noon, dahil protracted siya, umabot ng 3 months, meron kaming setup ni Gov Bonds na 15 days DSWD nagbibigay ng food pack through the LGU rin. And then 7 days LGU, and then babalik ulit yung 15 days ng national. Then, in the middle, we would give emergency cash transfer along the way for their other needs.
Yeah.
We can set that same
For
system sa
the
inyo po.
local communities.
Yes, sir.
oo. And then yun na nga, but you, the OCD will take the lead here.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so you put the team together, the interagency team together with the DNR, together with of course with the SWD. But the immediate one is really the protection from the oil spill. So yun ang unahin natin. Standby na ang tupad, standby na ang DSWD for the IX or whatever cash transfers we're going to be making. And then, of course, DNR continue with your sampling, modeling, etc., so that we can be proactive there. Mabuti na lang 35 meters, not as bad as the 400 meters in Mindoro.
If I may, Mr. President, the timeline given to me by the Salvor is they can siphon all in a week or two. In 1 week or 2.
Oh, that's what I know. I
Yes,
read the
sir.
report. Oh.
Yes, sir. So, for the comfort of the LGU as well, it might not prolong very much the existence of the threat at sea.
Okay. What else? What else do we need to do? What other issues do we have to deal with here?
Yun po siya, napaka-importante po sa amin, Mr. President, yung talagang maturuan na kagad yung mga tao. And then, yung anong gagawin namin dun sa mga fish pan right now namin na biglaman. Kasi kung biglang abot yan, baka biglang pa-stop hindi makapagbenta. Kaya kung better, kung pwede nang harvest
I-harvest na. Oo. Kung parating na talaga yung oil spill, sayang lang. At least kahit pa paano, kahit hindi
May
pa,
makukuha pa ho.
hindi pa nag-raw out ng kompleto, pwede nang kunin kasi magamit man lang.
Sa meeting po namin, Mr. President, with RD Willie Cruz of BIFAR, yun rin po yung sinasuggest niya na early harvest. As precautionary.
Pag napasok na yun, wala na, hindi na magamit, sayang naman. Hindi na may pagbili yung isda. Hindi na makakain yun eh.
Ma'am, how many days po yung training nung doon sa organic na ilalagay doon, yung organic boom?
Sir, Mr. President, we'll bring in the technicians as soon as possible. No? Within a day or 2, they should be here. Ang kailangan po siguro, yung materials, yung organic materials na kailangan ibuklod na, yung mga dayami po natin, yung mga coconut coir, yung husk po ng coconut. Kasi itatalog, ipoprocess po yan, and then they will pack it in the
Ma'am, yung coconut ash yung sa may balat mismo?
yung buong shell, yung shell po ng coconut tsaka yung sa loob, kailangan po, yun ang
Yung nagbalatan.
Opo.
Yun din
After binalatan.
Yung bilog.
Pinakalaman.
Opo. We have a machine po na talagang kinakaskas po yan in order to make it into parang absorbent.
Yung fiber, para maging fiber.
There's a machine, ma'am.
Malapit, we'll bring it in sa Bacolod ho, yung pero they're willing to come in to bring it in.
Training different provinces na po. Kasi marami pong tao ako gagamitin namin.
Opo.
Kaya nga, pupuntahan kayo. Tapos, pero siyempre, yung pag-collect nung raw mat, kailangan sa local gagawin.
As of now, papakolekta na ho kami sa mga palengke daw.
Umpisahan na ninyo. Para pagdating ng mga...
Akin yung sa Metro Manila, mga pinagbalatan na. Dito ka na sa
Kung magbago-bago yung weather, baka pupuntang Maynila eh. Yes. Oo. Nakakulong doon sa...
Felix po.
Yun po kasi yung dayami, mang, kinakakain ngayon sa mga baka eh.
Opo.
Kaya baka po yung dayami, imposible eh. Baka wala na po tayong dayami ngayon kasi matagal na po eh. Pinapakakain po sa mga baka yun eh.
Di ba, hindi po
Pagkain.
nakuha tayo.
Yung mga coconut husk po, Mr. President.
Kuha tayo sa ibang lugar. Basta, pero yun ang mga option natin eh, yung commercial at saka itong local na ginagawa natin sarili.
Ang commercial, pero mahal po naman.
At saka kahit na kulang, laging kulang. Laging kulang. Tapos matagal bago nila may dala, tapos bago ilatag yan, mga ilang araw pa yan eh. Pero sa coastal protection, kaya natin gawin kaagad. Dahil gagamitin natin lahat ng mga tigatang.
Nagamit nun, hindi na nare-reuse yun, ma'am.
Wala na.
Wala na po.
Wala na. Ano yan? Disposable yun eh.
So,
pagka napuno na ng oil yun, wala na yan. Kailangan i-dispose. At saka hindi lang pwede basta itapon ko saan-saan lang. Kailangan i-dispose ng tama. Toxic waste na yun eh. That's toxic waste.
Yes, Mr. President. So we've also identified the hazard disposal sites and the handlers po, yung hazard material handlers na kung kinakailangan po sila, kukunin po nila yung contaminated substances para dalhin po.
Admiral, yes.
Helpful for the governors din po, sir, to link up with Secretary Dong Mendoza because he is now producing those indigenous
Yes.
as part of the Philippine Coast Guard auxiliary support to this effort, sir.
Ah, is that so? Oh, yeah. We tap them. Oh, make sure they're part of the task force that will be doing this. Oh, so the IOG, you have to organize everybody. Yeah, and then the DOLE will use the tupad. Tama. Oh.
Marami.
Yeah.
May technology na po, sir, si Secretary Mendoza. They were able to develop that during the Mindoro.
Yes, that's why yun na nga. That's why we can take advantage of that.
Yes.
Because yung sa Mindoro, dumating yan halfway through na. Kasi hindi naman natin alam yun nung sa umpisa. Pero na-develop nila, mukhang effective. Kaya gamitin natin ulit. Okay, I think it's the situation, I mean, it's never good. I know spill is never good, but it's a little bit better than the situation in Mindoro. Number one, it is the vessel is not so deep. As opposed to 400 meters or so, this is not 35 meters. Secondly, the ship is in a better condition than the last time. Because as far as we can tell, buo pa eh, barko, walang crack. So, hindi pa nakakalabas yung actual na cargo niya, that was the oil that was in its holds. All right, and then we have this indigenous technology that we can immediately deploy. That's why we have to. That's why we have to. Kailangan pa natin. We have to make them, but we know how. So we'll put the teams together. So I will direct the civil defense will take the lead here. You put the teams together from the DNR. Of course, the Coast Guard will have to be very part. The ILG, of course, you will have to coordinate with the local executives to make sure that coordinated ang galaw natin. And then we will anticipate already the effects of on the coastal areas, what they will need in terms of assistance. And then again, we can use the tupad for us to make those at least in the beginning, yun ang immediate concern natin is to have those booms, those indigenous made from indigenous materials. We have to have them we have to deploy them as quickly as possible. Hopefully hindi magamit, hopefully sumobra, okay lang yun, no problem. But habang maaga, lagyan na natin. Kasi I'm sure yung report na yan, na unang report na nakuha mo sa chairman.
Yes,
Hindi, yan lang ang una. Yan lang ang una. Because the bulk of it is not yet there. Pero siguro meron nang nakalabas na nauna naglanding na sa ano. So again, now if it is already since we have a good modeling, there is a health concern here because of the effects of the oil on the health of the coastal communities.
Tama yan, Mr. President, nung huling mga oil spill natin, the Department of Health had to declare kung edible for human consumption.
Yes.
Yung mga fishes and the other sources of food from the sea. So, i-check namin yan for content and contamination. Ang naalala ko, during the Guimaras, gumawa sila hindi ng mga husk, also bamboo and rattan and other local materials.
Yes.
And then alam ko, ang UP Visayas din offered yung the use of oil-eating bacteria. So, baka maganda matanong ulit yung ating mga biologists, baka that's another possibility to use. Dinideploy lang nila yung bacteria. Yun yung kumakain.
Well, you must coordinate with DNR. You have to coordinate with DOH so that you're sampling, so that you will tell them if it's beginning to become dangerous, that they will come in, and then we may have to, in the end, provide relief goods. Kung walang makain yung tao.
Ganun ginawa natin, Mr.
The same thing, yeah.
Sir, just on the sampling, we submit what we have tested po to DOH because they would be the ones to declare the safety or non-safety of the environment, whether it's water and air, sir. So we work directly with the DOH po.
Alright.
Ma'am, yung po kayang foam, pwede maging boom yan? Yung foam material, nilalagay sa ano? May sipsip din po yun eh.
Sir, I'm not a chemist, pero just offhand, no? Any kind of plastic-related material or foreign synthetic material would have to be tested po. At siguro ang concern lang po doon is pwede po mag-break up yung plastic.
Hindi lang yun. Ang problema sa foam, pati tubig, hinihigop. So pag diniploy mo yan, hindi lang langis ang hinihigop, pati yung hindi tatagal yun. Oo. Ito yung mga galing sa coconut, galing sa rattan, galing sa indigenous materials. Lumulutang lang yan, hindi hinihigop. Yung oil actually hindi hinihigop, hinaharang. Dumidikit. Hindi nahihigop ng actual material. Dumidikit lang yon. Tapos kukunin mo yun, lalagyan mo naman ng malinis. Madumi na yun, toxic waste na yun. Kailangan mong hanapan ng magandang paglalagyan. We have to prepare those booms. That's the first thing that we will have to do. Pabayaan mo na natin ng mga sa technical side. Let them do yung sa local, yung protection talaga ng coastal communities. Tapos kung ano yung pangangailangan. Kung sakali man na magka-problema, kung ano yung gagawin, yun na nga, yung walang makain, yung isda, hindi pwedeng kainin. Nasira yung tanim, whatever. Magre-ready kami. Kayo, mga local executives, kayo rin ang magsabi sa amin na kung ano yung naging effect nung
Mr. President,
para maka-respond kami agad.
I remember doon sa Mindoro, kay Gov Bonds, pati yung tindera umabot siya doon eh. So he gave us a list ng fishermen, tapos yung mga nagtitinda na hindi na makakapagtinda. Tapos hindi ko lang alam masyado dito, but meron kasi sila doon yung kumukuha ng shell sa pangpang. So pati yun, he made a triage of victims eh. Immediate, direct, indirect, at saka yung mas malayo-layo ng konti. So he did that. Tapos ang ginawa namin doon, iba-ibang rate ng assistance on the directness to the problem.
Correct. All right. So
Baka makalimutan ho
yeah.
natin yung mga tindera tsaka yung mga nakalimutan yung tawag ngayon. Meron silang tawag doon yung kimukuha ng mga shell, ng mga...
Survey na lang po kami kagad, Sir. Survey na ho namin kagad yung mga tatamaan na tao. Direct, indirect, para ano ho.
Well, if we move quickly enough at mailagay natin yung mga boom kaagad, it will lessen the effect of the coastal communities. So talagang immediate. That's the emergency action that we need to take immediately. And civil defense will kayo na sila mag-organize ng for this. Alam na naman namin ang gagawin because of the previous experience. See? Si Arlie, sige. Okay. Always. Hindi pwedeng isa-isa. Hindi pwede. You have to cooperate, kasi kung maayos yung isa, tapos hindi maganda yung isa, wala rin.
Lalabas din.
Makakalusot pa rin.
Siguro, Governor, imbitahin namin si Bons Dolor so that you could have, dahil sa actual experience si Governor to
That's not a bad idea. Para sabihan para masabi kung ano yung ginawa nila na effective, ano yung ginawa nila na hindi naging effective, para alam na natin kagad yung gagawin natin. Tama yun.
Tama po.
Yeah. No, tawagan na si Bons.
Ay, mga naka-invento nung hatch, yung coconut.
Opo. We'll take care of the source.
Yeah, you will do the balat na. Okay, well, anyway, wala tayong magagawa. We have to do this because
action na po tayo.
Doon lagi yung kuhanan yan Aurora and
Quezon, dami dun. Quezon, Laguna, meron dun. Dami.
Boss, bigyan na lang natin priority yung mga trucks na babiyahe namin malalayo para to gather materials para walang delay po, no? Kasi kailangan kami mag-outsource nito, yung malalayo talaga. Trucks ang patatakbuhin namin para makagather po na materials agad. Okay, Quezon po pala. Sir, baka meron sa Quezon na makapag-coordinate tayo with the governors para kunin namin yung mga...
Makakuha tayo ng
yung raw materials po. Kahit trailer pa padala namin para mabilis lang po.
Pero hindi lang yun ang ginagamit pati may iba, pati yung mga
may binet siguro naman.
Talahib lang na tuyo, ginagamit yan Lahat yan nagagamit. Pero lahat yan, kahit paano it will help.
Talahib, marami. Kung ilang nga ho yung dayami nito dahil wala kaming tanim nito, ma'am.
At least may plano na tayo. Basta OCD take charge, no?
Yes, sir.
You'll put the together. Oo. Tama yung konsulta tayo kay Gov. Bons. Well, just to give us the benefit of his experience, na masabi nga niya that what worked, what didn't work, what was the easiest na i-deploy, ano yung pinakamabilis na ma-deploy, ano yung pinaka-effective, etc. Para malaman natin. But I think DNR also made a very thorough assessment of the materials that were most effective. Kasi we tried 2 or 3 other things that didn't really work. But we ended up with some good results with the. Okay.
It's my presentation. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Is there anything else that we need to be discussing about this? Doon sa effects ng flooding, medyo I think we know what to do. Ito is a little more complicated. So anyway, let's just stay in touch with mag-coordinate tayo mabuti. Ang central agency for this is the OCD. So if there are any developments, meron kayong nakikitang nangyari, i-report ka agad sa OCD. Yan, the RD is here. Okay, ano pa? Anything else? Anything else that anyone can think of that we need to do? Okay, that's it for now. Anyway, patuloy ito. Hindi ito last na meeting natin tungkol dito. We will be meeting on this and continuing to coordinate with everybody. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.